Welcome to Level Up with Kelly and Jay. Elevate your life and your business. Get ready for transformative conversations and powerful insights. Let the show begin.
Welcome to another episode of the Level Up podcast with Kelly and Jay,
where we help you elevate your life and business. All right, so we talked about doodles the other day. So we have that in common.
Yes.
You are Mrs. Sunshine. I love sunshine. I like the sun too. Let's talk about some other things that we like. I know that you like tacos.
I love tacos.
Right? And you're in taco capital of the world, right? So you get some good stuff. But if you're having a taco, are you going to pick a margarita or like a good Corona?
Hands down a margarita.
Okay. Well, we're right there. Like we're another doodles.
Yeah.
Sunshine, margaritas.
Yeah.
Okay. Barbecue or tacos?
Tacos.
Okay. Me too. All right. The Cardinals or Seahawks?
Neither.
No. Okay.
Broncos.
Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
Well, nice. I'm glad that we got the victory earlier in the season. The Seahawks got that W. All right.
Bo's got this. He's just a newbie. He'll get there.
So it's fun to share some of these interesting things about ourselves, because it's not all business. Life is more important. But kind of getting into business, when you think about what LOs are facing today and some of the market dynamics that cause loan officers to maybe shift mindsets or get out of sync with, the proper steps to really sell with excellence. For example, let me give a couple examples of where maybe some ruts might cause people to get stuck into. The refinance boom of 2020 and 2021. We got these crazy low interest rates. We are out selling cold water in a desert. Everyone wants that. Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe the builder market right now where builders are putting, money into builder forwards and you have this crazy low interest rate and you're not auction selling. You're not going deep on value proposition because you got this great rate. You got this great program. What are your thoughts around that, kind of those circumstances, and how do you combat it and how do you make sure you stay sharp?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jay. To take a step back, I think something that keeps me up at night is being relevant. And I think as loan officers, we have to understand and embrace that AI and technology is going to change this industry. What we knew 5 years ago, 10 years ago, plus, or even last year is going to be different next year, 5 years, 10 years going forward. And in my mind, the way we do that, the way that we don't get replaced is by being strategic mortgage advisors and giving our buyers options. And while on some level, one could argue that technology will be able to even give options, you and I both know providing a mortgage coach, for example, a mortgage coach without conversation doesn't do the job.
Right.
Our job, our real relevancy in this industry and our ability to help people is translated when we combined a mortgage coach. And I'm a big mortgage coach user, and I know you are as well.
Right.
But think strategically. So no matter what the market brings us, when we were selling 2.5% 30-year fixed rate, that was historic. We could not keep up with the demand.
Right.
Same thing with our builder loan officers that are, offering these, 4 or 5% interest rates in a market that has 7 or 8% interest rates outside. It's easy to fall prey to just doing it just without kind of digging deep into the conversation. And so I think I would just challenge our loan officers, and I challenge myself and my team as well. Let's go deep on the conversation.
So what does that conversation look like in a situation like, let's say you are that working on a builder account and that builder that you're working with has done a builder forward and you have this crazy low interest rate option. What is that? How do you bring value to that consumer, and what does the options that you present look like?
I think having a structure to your sales process is important. So my structure is I do what is called a high trust call. And really that call is my goal is to create a relationship, start to earn their trust, and learn as much as I can about their lives and their objectives, their goals. What's the most important thing to them?
Mm-hmm.
And when I ask the right questions, then it allows me, and I'm literally taking notes through this,
Mm-hmm.
then it allows me to then bring solutions or bring thoughts to the table that maybe they're not considering. So let's just kind of walk through this. Let's say I'm an ABA loan officer and I'm working with a big builder, and today they're offering 4.5% on a 30-year fixed rate with no points. I mean, in this market, Jay, good Lord, that's amazing, right? And I think the default is just, we got this great rate, and so what do you want to put down? Awesome, right? Let's just work it up, let's lock it in, let's go. But if we can pause a little bit and really kind of pour into asking the right questions, we might discover a strategy and help them see something that they're not considering. We have so many people in my market that are selling properties from other parts of the country and moving to Arizona. How often have you seen somebody sell a house, they net $500,000, they want to roll all that money into the new house,
Right.
and maybe they're buying a $700,000 house. So they're coming to us for a $200,000 loan. And that's what they want. That's what they're telling us they want.
Mm-hmm.
So the easy part of that is to give them what they want.
Sure.
But the next level, if we're going to level up the
Mm-hmm.
conversation, is to take a holistic look at everything you see in their financial picture. How much money do they have in savings, checking savings, liquidable types of savings? What do they have in retirement funds? We know that this is an issue in our country with regard to just longevity of funds, and
Right.
people are working later. So in those scenarios, it's such a great opportunity to say, hey, Jay, I heard what you said. So scenario one of this cost analysis
Mm-hmm.
is showing you exactly what you're wanting. But I'm also showing you a few different things just for you to consider. So scenario two, in lieu of putting $500,000 down, I'm showing you here where maybe you're putting $300,000 down, still eliminate the mortgage insurance or keeping the payment in their desired goal, and taking the $200,000, and we're putting this in this analysis. We're showing you, even if you were to take the $200,000 and invest it in something that's earning a 5% interest rate, which is really, probably on the lower end, but
And something that we can actually offer right now
absolutely,
at
right?
Cornerstone Capital Bank. Yeah.
So then you take that $200,000, you put it into a vehicle that's earning 5%. You guys, with Mortgage Coach, we actually can show people how their net wealth grows.
Right.
I mean, like, how cool is that?
And diversification.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because how many people have come to you, and I know this has happened to you because it's happened to me. You do that first scenario, they put down $500,000, they finance $200,000, and then guess what? Life happens. And if they don't have the resources or the savings and they put everything into their house, even though that's your equity, to tap into that equity, you have to pay for it.
It's hard.
So let's be strategic before we get you there. Now,
Right.
it doesn't mean that they always opt for the other options, but that's where we bring value. And that kind of value is where we can sustain our relevancy in this industry.
Right. So you talked about two options, and I'm a big fan in 3 or 4.
Mhm.
3 at a minimum. What would be like the third option in
Yeah.
that example?
Well, depending on the market, I would say, we could show them a 15-year term,
Mm-hmm.
right? We could show them another down payment option. Maybe they're not comfortable with where the payment would be with only $300,000 down. So maybe we show that scenario in $400,000 down, still investing $100,000.
Right.
I think if the property has some type of ADU on it, then we could show potentially what rental income could look like on that property. So, I mean, you guys, the sky is the limit when it comes to Mortgage Coach.
But it's not hard to just take an extra 2 minutes and put in option 2, option 3,
Yeah.
and be able to have a high trust conversation, but also a consultation conversation. One of the reasons why Mortgage Coach is so important to us and our team and in the Northwest is we really want to be able to articulate upfront. Part of our value proposition is to be, a planner for them and to bring comprehensive planning to integrate their long and short-term financial goals with their mortgage. And if you're showing one option and you're limiting yourself to just what they said, you're not helping them expand their perspective. And then the other aspect of it is scientifically, humans are innately designed to want to compare. And so if you give the client 3 options or 4 options up front, it's going to diminish their need to want to go compare. But if you're giving like 1 0-point option, that's a challenge.
Let me know what you think about this concept. I agree with what you're saying here. But the other element that almost kind of just comes by way of doing this is that we keep our skills sharp.
Exactly.
So there still is strategic thought that goes into those options that we put together.
Right.
And if we do that, no matter what the market cycle is, it helps us to get ready for whatever the next market cycle is that's coming.
Well, and I think if you really have a client for life relationship mindset, you're trying to build this business within a business, which is what I've always thought as a loan officer, and be able to let the machine snowball, that even if you were, low interest rate refi environment, or you had a builder forward opportunity based on an account that you had, if you're just giving the client like this quick, easy option, right? Like, and you're selling with attractiveness, not your service as a loan officer with consultation, and you're just selling this low interest rate. Well, what are you training that client to want to do?
Yeah.
So the next time that they want to buy, they're probably not buying with that builder. They might not be buying in an environment where you have this really low interest rate or you have this unique product, but you want to establish a relationship so they know and like and trust you and see value in the relationship that they get from you. But if you just led with, you called me because you're buying a house with AAA, builder, and I'm like, yeah, I got this smoking deal, and you're like, cool, boom. Like, we just had a quick, that was like a Tinder relationship, not a go deep, like, let's have a relationship where I'm a value to you for a long time, not just a one-time transaction. And I think too many people are like, sweet, I can just do a quick sell and I can do my next one. And it's kind of back to that idea of like slowing down to add value, because over time, if you slow down and add value, then you're going to speed your business growth up, because you're going to have raving fans and client for life relationships that are going to come back to you over and over and over. And so there are times in the market where you just need to be disciplined in your sales process, because that's what's going to get you a deal. And then there's going to be other times where you need to stay disciplined so that you're ready for when the market adjusts.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that first scenario, so here's my great rate, awesome. Essentially, technology is going to be able to do that here soon.
100%.
So again, we combat that by taking a step back, asking the right questions. That's where technology is going to have a run to try to compete with us, because we still have head and heart.
I think it's already there, but it's being able to connect the dots and know the story behind the story and what's important to the client. And I think one of the mindsets, that's obviously, mindset is a big aspect of this podcast, is making sure that you come at it with a mindset as a consultant and as an advisor, not as a dictator or a chooser. And I see too many loan officers that I think are self-diagnosing the problem for the client, or self-choosing. Like, I would never pay points, so I'm never going to show points.
Oh my gosh, you are so right. I'm so glad you said that. Now, how many times has that happened?
And I think the reality of it is if you call one of the big advertisers in our industry, they're starting at 2 or 3 points, and the client's going to see that rate. And so if you're not offering that, or if you go to bankrate.com or some other website, those rates are all with 2 and 3 points. And so you want to have the client in the range of those other ones, and it help them understand why that's not maybe the best solution, but still let them choose, right? Because maybe for somebody else, I mean, I had some friends that I work with, and they were telling me like, somebody paid 5 points. And I was like, that's crazy, but they wanted to, but they got their rate to like under 2%, and now that looks pretty good if you're going to be in that home forever,
right?
Because it's free money.
Yeah.
And so the reality of it is letting people choose what works for them, letting them have all the different options, and stop self-describing, because that limits your options. And maybe somebody wants this, and you really think this is the better solution, but at the end of the day, do you want them to work with you?
Yeah.
Then you got to present all the options.
Yeah. I love that. And in the kind of retail loan officer mindset or current practice, I think that what you're saying is so important. And so how would we build that out in Mortgage Coach? Like, give an example.
So where we start in our consultations, I mean, and you're typically getting the email introduction at this point, right? Like, hi, Kelly, Sally at, Compass told me to give you a call, like that's, or connect with you. And they kind of want to start the pre-approval process over half the time. And we don't send them the link to do that.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, when can we jump on the phone? And I have like, as a template in my inbox, my
Yeah.
Outlook, and it's like, when can we talk about your situation, your financing goals, and next steps?
Yeah.
Because I want them to be knowing that we want them moving towards next steps.
And you planted seeds
Yeah.
just by exactly using that phraseology.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just, get on the phone, talk for a second.
Yeah.
We're humans. How is there some
Do
connection?
you like Labradoodles?
That'd be great. If they did, if everybody had a doodle, the world would be a better place.
So
Because they wake up to Buddy, right?
that's right.
Yeah. So, when you have that initial conversation, making that human element, making that connection, edifying the realtor relationship,
Mhm.
and we're bringing them back to that. So you can, when you tell your agent, you're advertising for them, and then understanding their situation, then talking about your value proposition. That's every single time I talk to a consumer on the first conversation, I'm making the advertising. I'm telling them why they should work with our team.
Yeah.
And I state that in a way as, when you work with us, we're going to do this for you.
What's that?
And there's 4 things that we walk through. We'll do that on a different
Okay.
podcast. Okay, we'll save that one. But I think
I can't wait.
it's important that when we walk through that process, you're putting that in, then we get them pre-approved. So there's a barrier to entry, and then we're having a deep dive conversation. And that's where we're going to show pricing for the very first time. And in that conversation, when they see their pricing, they're going to get 4 options every single time.
Yep.
So we will probably start with the lowest rate on strategy A, working down to strategy D, and that's just every single time. So like 2 to 3 points,
Yep.
to 1.5-ish points,
Mhm.
1 to 3/4 of a point, and then if we can be close to 0 points, then we want to show that.
Yeah.
And we're showing those 4 every time. And in that dialogue with the mortgage coach, we're talking about the break-even analysis, and hey, this saves you a lot of money at 5 years. Well, what's 2 years look like? And when do you think you're going to refi? And
Or move,
yeah,
Yeah.
the reality of how long do you think you're going to use that mortgage is going to be a lot different than maybe how long you're going to be in the home too.
But I think your point is so crucial. So let's wrap up with this. And that is, don't determine what's best for the consumer.
It's not your mortgage.
It's not your
You're not
mortgage.
paying it.
Right.
Why are you picking for them?
Yes.
Like,
So good.
I picked what I was going to wear. You picked your shirt. Like, if I had to wear that,
I would have not picked that shirt, by the way.
totally. It doesn't look very nice. So other than
It's wrinkled.
I got some sweet Cornerstone swag on, so that's good.
Well, Jay, once again, I appreciate you.
Good topic. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. And this is what we're trying to bring, is just everyday conversations that Jay and I would have, whether we're shooting a podcast or not. We want to bring this to our ecosystem of loan officers and get you thinking. What keeps you up at night? What is that thing that you're struggling with? Know that we are here to help guide you through this process. So as we think about our next episode, Jay, what do we got going on? What do you think?
Well, we want to hear from you. We want that engagement from our ecosystem. And so at the end of the day, what we plan to do pretty soon is an episode that's kind of Q&A. So if you have some questions, send them into us, and we may answer, how to address something that you're struggling with, or a hurdle that you see in the landscape, that we can talk about how we're navigating that, or how we think we should go about attacking it for success and to elevate.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, leave a review, and share how you're leveling up. Until next time.